Hey again, guys. We're back, and now we're going to be inserting the main arm into the rest of the assembly. The first thing that goes on, we've got our handy-dandy trebuchet assembly here, is that we need to take the 3-inch axle, okay, and we're going to start feeding it through one of the holes in the top of the uprights. Goes in one side. Once it's about here, we want to feed it through one of the upper set of holes in the main arm of the trebuchet. I'm going to pick the top one here because we're going to assemble this to get the maximum leverage on the payload. And this goes right through that, and the axle slides right into the other side. Okay, now you can see we've got an arm that attaches to this. That's pretty good. But there's a couple things going on here. First of all, it's easy for this axle to slide in and out right now. There's nothing holding it captured in place. Secondly, the arm isn't centered. It has the ability to slide from side to side. And thirdly, the uprights are a little bit shaky at the top. You see how that works out? Luckily, we came up with a solution that solves all of these problems at once. I want to introduce you to a very special little piece here. This is something we're calling the spring spacer. Now, it looks kind of like, I don't know, an alien, or a hammer, or I guess kind of like a parrot too. But what it really is this little piece here acts like a spring. This has the ability to flex up and down, and it's rather strong. And what we do with this is we take the upright, and there's this hole in the side of the upright. We're going to take the spring spacer, and we're going to push it into this hole. And what happens here is that once we get it through the hole, it'll click into place. Now this spring locks it into place and it can't back out, and now the axle gets trapped on this side. We're going to do the same with the second spring spacer and the other axle. Slide it into place and it's going to click into place, and now check out what's happened. First of all, the arm is centered in between the two uprights. Second of all, the axle, it can't escape, it's trapped on both sides. And third of all, we can actually squeeze this whole assembly rather hard, and it's not going anywhere. That's the magic of the spring spacers. If you want to take them out and adjust the position of the axle on the trebuchet arm, the way to do that is to just use your fingers, I'll show you here, is to use your fingers to squeeze down on the spring spacer a little bit, and then once you've done that, you can work it out. No problem at all. Okay, then you can take the axle out, change the location of the arm you're using, whatever you want. But for now, we're going to leave this in here, set up like this, okay, and we're going to attach the counterweight basket to this. We were careful to make sure that we had something that kept the arm centered between the uprights. Oh, shaking a little bit here. And we're going to be likewise careful to make sure we have something that keeps the basket centered on the arm, because we don't want this to swing around and have the basket hit the frame. That's no good. What we have for that is the O spacer. The O spacer sits on the end of the arm, and you want to get it past whatever hole you're using. Because now what happens is we're going to take the short axle, we're going to feed it through one end of the counterweight basket first. Then we're going to feed the axle, this is the tricky part, through the hole in the end of the main arm and through the other end of the counterweight basket. Once you've gotten the axle through both ends of the counterweight basket, just take the axle, give it a little bit of a tug, it'll snap into place. Remember, this is how we lock the axle into place so it can't slide side to side. And now, we've got the arm in place, the basket on the end of the arm, everything nice centered, swinging beautifully. Everything is centered so that the basket can't hit the sides. And we're almost good to go. Next time, which I think will be our last little video here, we're going to attach the sling and the trigger pin to the end of the arm, put the weights in the basket, and have some fun with some bouncy balls. So, be sure to come back in a day or two for the last installment of our little video series. See you later, folks.